Hello everyone. Have you ever felt the lull, the empty feeling after hunting season when it's all over? It's like in this abrupt end. And I got thinking to myself, I had all this preparation, all this work that I put into hunting during the season, the preparation, the time, building tree stands, putting them up, tracking deer, understanding their patterns, buying a new gun, buying bullets, getting my arrows ready, target shooting. There's just so many things that you put into preparing to have a successful hunt. And if you're fortunate and blessed enough, the Lord's blessed you, you might be able to harvest a mature white-tailed deer, a nice big buck. And then if that happens and then the season's over, I thought, what can I do? What can I do to kind of keep that going? Hunting is a passion of mine instilled into me by my father, William Covey I. He's no longer here with us, but he's here in spirit, and I wanted to do something, create a playlist, a series on YouTube of flashbacks. And one of the most powerful things about hunting in general is the stories. And although some of these old stories that happened years and years ago, we don't necessarily have on video, but we have pictures and we have the memories, and we have those stories that live on forever. And I'd like to share those with you in this new playlist called FIRESIDE FLASHBACks. Something to do in the cold winter months, reminiscing with a good cup of coffee by a fire, talking about the important things of life. Covey clan hunting is about faith, family, freedom, friendship, food, and firearms. So the stories that we're creating will involve that, but I wanted to create this platform, in memory and tribute to my dad, Bearded Outdoors. I'm a field staff there. Awesome organization, great products. This coffee mug for one, and one of their taglines is Faith Beards, the Great Outdoors. Awesome organization, and we just want to encourage everyone to get outside, appreciate what God has created, and get in the outdoors and experience it. Hope you like this, and I'll catch you soon. On a cold November morning in Ellenburg Depot, New York, circa 1980, my father, Bill Covey, woke up early to do the one thing he loved to do more than anything else: hunt the elusive white-tailed deer. As usual, he put on his long underwear, merino wool socks, plaid Filson wool outerwear, and northerner rubber boots. He looked like the quintessential North Country hunter. An avid outdoorsman and lifetime NRA member, he hunted to feed his family, for the pursuit and challenge, and because he came from generations of hunters bearing the Covey name. Carrying his father's, Russell Covey, my grandfather, Model 10 12-gauge shotgun, the first Remington pop shotgun, he felt confident as he quietly walked to the stand. Perched in a tall pine tree over 20 feet in the air, with views of the Adirondack Mountains to the south and the Canadian border to the north, he heard a grunting noise in the valley below. As the sun came up over the trees to the east, a doe quickly raced through the valley and into the thick pines. Following closely behind her was a hulking 220-plus pound 10-point buck. As the buck pursued the doe, my dad knew he needed to act quickly. Known for his accurate shooting, he took a deep breath, finger on the trigger, and squeezed. The running deer went out of sight down the hill, and he waited for 10 minutes to collect his thoughts and wondered whether his shot was good on the running buck. A short walk later confirmed that the buck was down just 20 yards from where he was taken. A perfect heart shot from over 100 yards on the run. Fast forward approximately 40 years, when I, Bill Covey II, am now hunting the elusive white-tailed deer. I can't help it, as it's in my blood. Proudly carrying on the tradition like my dad did before me, I set out to the woods on opening weekend of gun season, stealth-like and determined, in the year 2019. I climbed the hills of Bristol, New York, and settled into the ground blind I had made for my son, Billy Covey III, during bow season. Decked out in mossy oak camo, my Under Armour gear is modern and very different than my dad's. However, after suffering through several misfires from my modern muzzleloader, I decided to use my dad's old Remington 870 Wingmaster 20 gauge, a tried and true shooter with both birdshot and slugs. Despite seeing several doe and a 4-point buck in the ground blind, I had a gut feeling I was in the wrong spot. Furthermore, the numbness in my legs confirmed I needed to change positions. 100 yards south was my nephew Ryan Jones's tree stand. Just after 8 a.m., I settled into Ryan's 20-foot high stand, overlooking beautiful poplar trees with a creek to my backside. 10 minutes later, as I looked to my left, a big deer climbed up the hill from the creek below and stopped behind a tree. I shouldered my shotgun, took a deep breath, and waited for the deer to step forward. As the deer moved from behind the tree 70 yards away, all I saw was tall tines. I knew he was a shooter. Seconds later, I fired the old 870 and the buck dropped right in his tracks. Elated, I must have fist pumped at least 10 times. As I walked down toward the buck, I thought of my dad and surveyed the rack. It was my first 10-point buck. My father-in-law, Pete Jones, said, "This is the biggest buck I have seen up here for years and years." As Pete helped me get the deer out of the woods, I knew I was blessed with a great family, good land to hunt, and wonderful memories. 60 days later, the Northeast Big Buck Club New York director Andy Hall scored my buck and my dad's buck. And we both went into the NBBC record books at the same time. The Covey hunters live on.